Hi, how you doing? Here's another thought from my yellow chair. As the pandemic continues and everything is closed down, I'm here at church and I don't know how long I'll be able to record from my yellow chair. I may have to take this to my house. But here's a thought. The good life begins. The good life begins not when the circumstances change, but when our attitude towards them change. Many of us are looking for the circumstance to change and then our attitude will follow. No. The good life begins when my attitude changes towards the circumstance. And Paul was a poster child of this. Here he is, he's in prison. And he writes this letter in Philippians 4, verse 6. He says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God." And that's what I want to focus on. Thanksgiving, gratitude. Gratitude is the mindful awareness of the benefits of life. Gratitude is the mindful awareness of the benefit of life. Many of us focus on what we don't have instead of focusing on what we do have. Instead of looking at the blessings all around us, we tend to just focus on the negative. George Mueller, he was living in the 1800s and he ran an orphanage. And at one point he had 1,000 orphans in his house. And one day there was no food. And so he called all the orphans and he called all the staff and they sat on the table and he prayed. And he thanked God for the food that he provided. The kids said amen. They looked at the table like, but there's nothing here. And all of a sudden the story goes, there was a knock on the door and it was a baker. And the baker said, God led me last night to bake these goods for you. And George was like, oh, thank you. Closed the door. And before he was able to bring the bread in, there was another knock on the door. And it was the milkman. And the milkman said, hey, my truck just broke down and I have all this milk and I don't want it to spoil. Can you use it? And here his George Mueller said, yes, thank God. He thanked God for the provision before he received it. And that's the thought that I have for you today. Be thankful. Keep a gratitude journal. Think about the blessings of the relationships that you have. Think about the material blessings that you have. Think of the spiritual blessings that you have. Every day, as my therapist counseled me, write it down. Think about the answered prayers. But don't neglect looking every day at the blessings that God has already given to you and me. And that's my thought from my yellow chair. God bless you.